Okay, good morning, everyone. This is Jodie Siemens from Taking Perspective. This morning's webinar is on what are your beliefs? So this week's discussion on what are your beliefs, we're going to talk about what is a belief and where do they come from. We're going to discuss why do we have beliefs and are they helpful? And we're also going to go into the idea of can you change your beliefs? So firstly, what is a belief and where do they come from? So beliefs arise through experience. So all of our experiences and the needs from our previous beliefs are all assimilated, and the reasons for this experience are formed. So then that reason gives us a well-formed belief. Beliefs, reasons, and experience are based upon each other. So everyone's beliefs have a particular ethology that is particular to a cause of origin. So the reason for our beliefs is usually because of a life event or experience that you have had at some stage in your life. So when you've had some experience and received, whether it be educational instruction, whether it be time spent with others, whatever the experience, thinking about the wider issues and ultimately how you've arrived at your beliefs is quite important to understand. So in a nutshell, a belief is an attitude or conviction about the truth of some idea or concept. So generally our beliefs are basic concepts, things around us that are constant, things that we tend not to question because they become automated. For the most part, we are not aware of what our beliefs are, and that's that automation process. They're usually things that we never really think about, yet some of them tend to be something that we actively contemplate depending on what the belief system is in our lives. Okay, so we tend to apply beliefs to our memories, our experiences, and to the future, and they help us understand the world around us. We tend to have a bias of some description that will influence our thoughts and behaviours, and this can also interfere with our ability to be impartial about certain beliefs and issues that we may hold. So what I mean by bias is that it's something that you truly believe in, and when you're doing something, you tend to look for things that back up your belief, so to speak. So they're things that make you feel as though your beliefs are correct. So you'll search out for things that back up your idea. So the next one is, I've got a quote here: strength does not come from the physical capacity, it comes from the indomitable will. Mahatma Gandhi. That is one of my favorites. So why do we have beliefs and why are they helpful? So beliefs are important because they are our behavior. And our behavior is important, and your behavior depends on your beliefs. So it's a double-edged sword. Your behavior and beliefs are one in the same. So everything that you do can be traced back to your belief, all your behaviors, your actions that you take can be traced back to a belief system that you hold around the world, and everything from brushing your teeth to your career is based on those actions. So brought together, beliefs and knowledge form a mental representation of the world around you. A belief about the world is a mental attitude that the world is structured in some way rather than another. So it's your perception. It's all about your perception and your perspective. So this means that beliefs are are necessarily the foundation for action. So whatever your actions that you take in and around the world, they are based on your mental representation of the world. Okay, so beliefs are also helpful in determining your reaction to other people's behaviours. So for example, if someone refuses to brush their teeth or own their own career choices, it will help you determine your beliefs around that if there's something that are high on your beliefs and values list. So as a consequence, if you're believing that something is true, you must be willing to act as if it is true. So if you're unwilling to act as if it is true, then you can't really claim that you believe it. If you go on this theory of this is why your actions matter much more than your words. You often hear that saying, action speaks louder than words. And this is what the category this falls into. So we can't know the contents of a person's mind per se, but we can know if their actions are consistent with what they say and what they believe. So beliefs also help us determine your reactions, well, I said that, to other people's behaviours. This all means that beliefs are not entirely a private matter. So even if you try to keep your beliefs to yourself, you may find that your actions are enough to become a matter of legitimate concern to others, or it's easily seen what your beliefs are through your actions. So the more important the behavior is, like behavior in the question is, the more important the underlying belief must be. Okay, so the more important those beliefs are, the more important it is that they are open to examination, questioning, and challenges. Okay, so given the link between your belief and your behaviour, to what extent must some beliefs be tolerated, and to what extent is intolerance justified? So this is going into the idea of, are beliefs helpful? Okay. It would be legally difficult, not to mention impossible on a practical level, to suppress someone's beliefs, but they can be tolerated or intolerated by the ideas in a variety of different ways, depending on your own beliefs and values. So the real question is how harmful a belief can be and what it might ultimately cause. So either indirectly or directly, beliefs can cause harm by promoting or justifying harm towards others. Beliefs can cause harm indirectly by promoting false representations of the world as knowledge, while preventing believers from subjecting their representations to critical, skeptical scrutiny. And an example of this could be racism. Okay, so I won't go into racism. You all understand what that is. But as we know, some people are predominantly more racist than others. So is this belief something that is more harmful directly or indirectly towards others? So that's an example of that. So greatness lies not in being strong, but in the right to use your strength. Henry Ford Beecher. So can we change our beliefs? Okay. I suppose what I want to say here is I won't lie to you in any way, shape or form. Changing your beliefs can bring up some, say, uncertain feelings, okay? Possibly even make you feel physically sick, cognitive dissonance, where you just don't feel right about something, because we hold emotions around our beliefs. And the strength of those emotions is where we question what we're doing and why we're doing it. So it will depend on how ingrained your belief is and how long you have held it. In saying that, people can bring about as much change as they desire. Okay, so you can change any undesirable behaviors, any limiting belief systems by altering the way you think and feel. All right. These fuels active pursuits towards goals, ideal personalities, powerful beliefs. If you're looking for how you can change your beliefs, then there is good news, because no one, not one single person, is born with a limiting belief or a negative emotion. So the bottom line is if you can change your core beliefs, you can change your whole life. So when I change, as just an example using myself, when I changed my core beliefs about myself in regards to my depression and my anxiety that I had for quite a number of years, I really started to change how I feel, and every aspect of my life began to change with it. So if your life is not going the way you'd like, then it might be time to challenge your core beliefs. We spend most of our times following our core beliefs, and it can be scary to open up in different ways of thinking and having different experiences. And that's why I was saying earlier that ideally it's something that will cause some sort of cognitive dissonance at some stage, because it is based on our emotions, and changes can 100% be made. I am testament to that, but it can be a hard road depending on the change you're trying to make. Okay, so in summary, beliefs arise through experience. Experience needs previous beliefs and reasons to be assimilated. These reasons need experiences to be formed, as a belief needs a reason as well. Okay, beliefs, reasons, and experience are all based upon each other. It is circles and merry-go-rounds when it comes to beliefs. So in a nutshell, a belief is an attitude or conviction about the truth or some idea or concept that you hold. Beliefs are important because behavior is important, and your behavior depends on your beliefs. Everything you do can be traced back to your belief systems in one way or another about how you hold yourself in the world. Everything from brushing your teeth to your career to the way you raise your children, your religious beliefs, everything is encompassed on how you envisage the world and how you act within the world. So beliefs can determine your reactions to other people's behaviours also. Given the link between belief and behaviour, we must understand that there's also a level of intolerance and tolerance, I suppose, on some belief systems that people hold that you don't hold. So that's about being able to work with that and understand potentially where someone else's belief systems come from. That doesn't mean you have to agree with them, but they've come from somewhere, some sort of experience, something's happened in their lives, and that's where they've developed their belief. So the bottom line is if you change your core beliefs, you can change your whole life. If your life is not going the way you would like to, I suggest that you start to challenge your beliefs. We spend way too much time of our lives following our belief systems, and if they're not the right ones for us, and life is not going the way we want to, well then if you do what you've always done, you'll always get what you've always got. So you have to make the change to change what you get. Okay, it can be scary to open up in different ways and different levels of thinking and different experiences. Absolutely. I went through that process myself wholeheartedly, but the rewards when you come out the other end, it's, you know, my life has changed because of it. So I have a last quote here. We are the product of our past. We start each day where we left off the day before. Changing the way we dress, where we work and live, or even changing a name does not alter our basic constitution. Transformation of the self requires a radical alteration in the way that we perceive the world and derive meaning. Kilroy J. Oldster. I really like that quote, and I think that sums up the summary for the day. So this is Jodie Siemens from Taking Perspective. Thank you very much for joining us here today with this webinar. I have another quote for you, which I found: change is essential for survival. All life forms must adapt to their fluctuating circumstances. All forms of life result from the process of variation, mutation, competition, and inheritance. The universe is in constant state of chaos, and we have chaos implanted in our own bones. Nature wires us all for change. So you can change any aspect of your life that you choose to change. You just have to want it. So here we are at the end of the webinar. Thank you very much for those registered. You'll receive the webinar, What Are Your Beliefs, in your mailbox. For those who join me live, thank you very much for being a part of this webinar. You can also check me out on Anchor by Spotify. That is a podcast I'm now doing, Empowering Ordinary Women. I'm also on LinkedIn, YouTube, Facebook, and Instagram. So next week's webinar, Friday the 25th, I am doing, is your purpose in alignment with your beliefs? So last week I did a webinar on what is your purpose. This week I did it on what is your beliefs. And now next week I'm going to bring those two topics together for you to give you a deeper understanding of the importance of both. So once again, thank you very much for joining me, and I will see you same place, same time next week. Thanks.